Shalom, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Kal Halimna Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. All praises be to the Most High, Yahweh, in the name of His Son, and our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shai, to the 144,000. Double honor and respect to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Coming back at you with another lesson, the love of many waxing cold and colder. So there's a few videos that I have, but I'm going to try to keep this short. There's only a few scriptures that I'm going to read, Lord willing. But I just want to get the point across through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. So these videos are fair use, Copyright Act of 1976, under Section 107. And these videos are going to be used for criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. So the love of many waxing cold, and that's more spiritual because the system of America, and look at it, that's the spirit. Look, it only gets worse. Look at this. See, we're all singing a symphony here. We're playing a symphony. This is an orchestra. So we're singing as a chorus. One song, the new song that is prophetic. That's amazing. So anyway, I want to play these videos, and things are only getting worse. America is called a melting pot because that's spiritual in itself, because things are going to heat up and boil over. Uproars of the people, more violence, more chaos, disruption, distrust of the leaders. So this place is a powder keg, and it's only going to take one spark for things to blow up out of order or out of control. Let's go here. Fair use. And this pseudoscience is pushing this message of a minority creating or committing the majority of crimes, all made up and controlled by the media propaganda giant. They wet their tongue like a sword. Is that not written? So let's start here first. And I like being called Big Bro and or Shar, but not Elder. But anyway, let's pull this up here. ChatGPT search, and these type things are not being publicized. What do the Bible say about these times? Who are in rulership? It's counterintuitive to blame the people at the bottom for all the problems. You have to be mentally sodomized to fall for that trick. That's an old trick. And if you're well learned, well informed, most importantly, if you're spiritual, then you could see beyond the horizon. You can see through the smoke and mirrors. To blame the poor for all the nation's problems that have no leadership, no authority under poor leadership. Anyway, and this brother asks ChatGPT, what is the majority of the people that rule the world? He's talking about Edomites, but he used layman's terms so we can understand. But it's talking about Edomites, who are the majority ruling the world. The majority of the people in the most powerful and influential positions globally, such as heads of major governments, CEOs, multinational corporations, and leaders of key financial institutions, have historically been and still are so-called white or of European descent. Edomites. Hey, let's put this on the mainstream news and stop shadow banning and hiding the truth. Let's try that. What a concept. Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So it's counterintuitive to blame the people at the bottom or underneath you for your problems. Imagine a head football coach getting on TV. All my players suck. I'm great, but they all suck. Can you imagine? Anyway, let's keep going. So, wickedness has been sown in the earth and is cultivated here. So the culture of America goes back to what? The Wild Wild West. You think so-called Negroes, Native Americans, or Latinos started the Wild Wild West, these shootouts, these so-called cowboy movies, drive-by shootings? Absolutely not. I remember watching a special on the History Channel. All of your Wild Wild West shootings were Edomites. Every last one of them. Now, you might have a few Jakes sprinkled in there that was joined unto them, but the vast majority of them are Edomites. Even gangs going back to Al Capone time, leading up into the early 1900s. Edomite gangs. Okay? Now, over time, you saw the emergence of the so-called Negro, Native American, and Latino gangs, but preceded by the wicked,
How do black people not have
Let's play this video here. Fair
access
use.
to a
Let's
better
rewind
life?
it.
How do black people not have access to a better life in America? What's preventing that?
What's preventing black people
Yes.
from having a better life in America?
Yes. What's preventing them?
Police, the
Oh,
government.
hold on. No.
Universities.
Police.
The
How
United
many
States
unarmed black
Donald
men die?
Trump.
How many
Donald
unarmed black men die from the hands of police every year?
The unarmed
Nationally.
black- are you
yes.
serious?
How many?
Charlie Kirk, we're talking about something that
How
I didn't
many?
come up here to
No,
talk
you
to
just said
about.
police. How many
I
unarmed
did.
black men die at the hands of police every year?
Did I say that is the reason
You
why
just
we're
said
prohibited?
police.
Policing is an issue.
How? You're right.
Police is
We don't have
militarized.
enough police
normal
on the streets of black
The normal
neighborhoods.
police department is well more funded than our normal libraries.
What is the number one cause of black death in Chicago?
Are you serious?
Other blacks killing blacks.
Are y'all saying other blacks?
Yes.
Other blacks?
Who's
People being killed.
Who's killing the blacks from Chicago? A bunch of kids from Highland Park?
22% Hispanic. That's very, very, very broad. Where
No.
are those locations at?
Who is
Where are those locations at?
East? No.
You're saying East Garfield? You've never been to East Garfield in your life.
Yes,
You're
I
from
went
East
once and I'll
Garfield?
never return.
You're
How do black people not?
See, let's go back here for a moment. Now, when you study history, there's just a myriad of different legal policies that were implemented here. You had these black codes and arresting so-called blacks for vagrancy. You see, vagrancy laws when they didn't have a job or workplaces. Then they would flood the prison system. So what they did was recodify slavery into a federalized and local jurisdiction prison system. Then you would have property redlining laws. You would have these zip code districts of segregation, where the zip codes where the more affluent Edomites live, they would get all the funding and government support. But those areas that were designated black or Native American reservations, they would not get funding. So it's very easy to pull the wool over the eyes of the unlearned. But the entire system from the top down is corrupt and built on Edomite supremacy. Let's call it for what it is. The medical industry is also corrupt and scandalous. You can't even get good medical care. The job industry is corrupt. Everything is. The educational institutions is built on Edomite supremacy. Even when I was in school, I didn't see all of the 95% plus inventions by so-called African Americans. I didn't know they existed till I got to college. See? Even the religious system is built on Edomite supremacy, seeing whitewashed images. So we don't want to talk about the things that make us uncomfortable. And the media is controlled by these same people you see here, pursuant to Job 9 and 24. So to demonize the poor that have no military, no political authority, no economic prowess or power, to demonize the powerless makes absolutely no sense. Who's raising the cost of living every year? Who's demoralizing society through violent movies, gang violence, hip hop, and all of these video games that show all types of bloody, gory scenes, video games, Hollywood movies, the hip hop rap industry? Who control these things? So we need to get to the root of the sickness and the virus and stop talking about the symptoms.
How do black people not?
You can get this guy up here and embarrass him, but first of all, you're over talking him. You're not even give him much of a chance to speak. But the root of the problem in going back to history and highlighting those things and stop addressing the symptoms is what needs to occur. Even in the military, they had to mandate from the Department of the Army level, DOD, to give people of color an opportunity to lead. Because what was happening was a good old boy system. A duck always chooses a duck. A swan always chooses a swine. A swan, excuse me. Well, a swine or pig will always choose a pig as well. And then the bird or the SAWA is always going to choose an SAWA. So birds of the same feather flock together. And this is why Yahweh Shai is going to put every nation back in their rightful lot. This melting pot is an experiment by the international banking elite, the wicked. And it's a failure, epic failure. Antiochus found that out. So did Nimrod. See? America's found that out. This is epic failure.
How do black people?
Because birds of the same feather are going to flock together at the end of the day to protect their interests, dominance, supremacy, privilege, and comfort. They're not going to give that up for equality. It's not going to happen. It's called an American dream for a reason, because that's all it's ever going to be, a
People don't need a
dream.
reason.
Now listen to her. So pseudoscience is pushing this dominant class of privilege and entitlement and supremacy, going back to that old spirit of Esau being
People don't need a
rekindled.
reason.
Let's
They
listen.
have resentment in their heart. They hate white people because they're unsuccessful in life, but it's not because of them. They're unsuccessful in life because of white people, right? Well, you know what? I don't actually care what your reasons are. If you are a violent person who will kill somebody just for sitting there, not doing anything with you, or you'll kill someone like Austin Metcalf who simply asks you to leave because you're not supposed to be there and you're in someone else's seat, I don't want these people in the streets. We have to get serious with what we're going to do about this. People need to get angry about this sort of situation, and they need to start realizing this is happening, and they need to get more racist. Racism would save a lot of lives. If this girl was a little bit more racist, she may have not sat in... Sorry. If this girl was a little more racist, she might not have sat in front of a black guy with her back to a black guy. Girls may not date black guys. If they realize when they go into the court system, it's nothing but white women bringing before the judge the brown and black perps who have battered them, abused them. They're trying to get restraining orders out against them. And those are the lucky ones, believe it or not. Those aren't the ones that were murdered by these people. So we need to get tough with ourselves and realize that this is an actual problem and not care if they call you racist, because I would rather be called racist than dead. Okay? And what are we supposed to do about this problem? It's not good enough just to talk about it. The cops need to be cracking down on these people. It needs to be stop and frisk everywhere. We need profiling. We need a cop to see, you know what, that's a suspicious looking black person. I'm going to stop and frisk him. I'm going to see what he's up to. Yes. Yes, you are no longer allowed to walk while black. Yes, you are going to have the law looking down your back. Because I'm sorry, until you fix this in your community, it's not going to go away. And people will continue to look suspiciously at you. Like this girl should have done. Not that I'm blaming her at all. My point being, if we had a little bit more racial consciousness and we realized, maybe don't put yourself anywhere in the vicinity of a black person. Better yet, why don't black people have their own spaces? Yeah, I said it. They've been calling it for years. Black people have been calling it for years. They've been saying, you know what, we want black-only spaces where whitey can't be there. Go for it. Go for it, please. That's what we have to do. We have to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to live in areas that are free of you. So I think it's time for not only law enforcement to do their jobs, but we got to seriously think about trying to lobby politicians to help us get these people in places where they are away from us, because we don't want to be around them. I don't want to. People don't need a reason.
Over 200 successful, well-to-do, fully efficient and functional, over 200 so-called black towns were either flooded or burned to the ground. Go back and look up the Red Summer of 1919. Look up Black Wall Street, just to name a few. See, so these things are ignored. So this is a rigged system built on Edomite supremacy, dominance, and total control and manipulation. So it's rigged to be discriminatory. So you can talk till your tail fall off, woman, but you don't know anything and you're leaving out a lot of facts. Many police nowadays are openly coming forward and admitting they've been giving commands to only patrol so-called black, Negro, or Native American neighborhoods. See? And to leave the wealthy alone that are snorting cocaine more than a damn a kid raids a candy store. So there's a lot of things being left out here. And when you have people in position, many of these local town sheriffs, for example, Their great-great-great-grandfathers were sheriff and police officers. So you have a system of good old boys, respect of persons against the Bible, respect of persons. All these good old boy systems in many of these small towns and major cities as well. See, birds of the same feather will always flock together. So this experiment by the international banking elite is epic failure. It's failure. And it's against the Bible to do this. And then you have, I talked about the, that's pretty much it. Yeah. So even trying to be separate, these Edomites would raid these so-called black towns, flood them out or burn them out. And no one would get arrested for it or penalized. Many of these landowners that were so-called African American or so-called Native American, they lost their lands. And the local townsmen and council members would just rewrite the decrees, not the decree, but the land, what is the title of the property called? The deeds. They would just rewrite the deeds into their own names, taking these lands from the poor. And what you had during the 1681. They started passing laws in Virginia, 1681, where if you were so-called Native American, Latino, so-called African American, you could not vote, testify in court. You could not own or purchase firearms. You could not own land. So that put the people of color several centuries behind, with no land ownership, no ability to defend themselves. So these drive-bys and these shootouts go back to the Edomites, the old Wild Wild West, the Western culture. That Western culture metamorphed into a black culture of drive-by shootings, gang violence. Then you had in the 1960s, they pushed the women's liberation and feminism to divide the family household and break up the family nucleus. They funded single mother households and Planned Parenthood to unalive so-called black babies. Upwards of 20 million were unalive since 1973. See? So what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Black codes, Jim Crow laws, property redlining, flooding or burning the towns, upwards of 200. Anyway, so pseudoscience is pushing a re-emergence or resurfacing of Edomite supremacy. 1 Timothy 6, verse 20. O Timothy, there's no such thing as white people, by the way. They created that term 1681 in the state of Virginia. If you were deemed white, you could vote, testify in court, own and purchase firearms, own and purchase land. So it's a man-made social construct to create a privileged class. Ultimately, it protected the landowners and the banking elite after the Francis Bacon Rebellion. So these elite got smart. Let's divide and conquer. Because during the Francis Bacon Rebellion, you had Native Americans, so-called Negroes, and poor whites joining together to fight the wealthy landowners, which are mostly small hats. 1 Timothy 6:20. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science, falsely so called. This intelligent quotient test or IQ test, which is biased. Even the SAT was found to be biased. I mean, if I create a test based on my social and geographical environment or atmosphere, then I can make that test biased to the people that look like me or grew up underneath or equivalent to the same culture. See? So science, falsely so called. Science means to know. Let's go here to, let's get 86. Yeah, so the spirit of war and rebellion and division and the love of many waxing cold, all of these things are building towards a major clash and uproars of the people, which is all prophetic. Psalms 86, verse 16. O turn unto me and have mercy upon me. Give thy strength unto thy servant and save the son of thine handmaid. So remember when you read Zechariah 12, that he that is feeble among them shall be as David and as the angel of the Lord before them. So the Lord is something is going to happen, where the Lord is going to lift up a supernatural phenomenon, a standard. Then shall it be known who am I chosen. So the many brothers are having visions of obtaining supernatural power, extraterrestrial strength. And then the rest of the house of David is going to be lifted up with that power and strength. Let's do something real quick. We'll read this again. Psalms 86, verse 16. O turn unto me and have mercy upon me. Give thy strength unto thy servant and save the son of thine handmaid. Show me a token for good, that they which hate me may see it and be ashamed, because thou, Lord, hast helped me and comforted me. See, a token for good. Let's look up token. Looks like a wath. A wath. A miracle, sign, evidence. Then shall it be known who am I chosen. That's second Ezra 16. I'm gonna have to make this short. See, look at that, a standard. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord is going to lift up a standard, a miraculous sign or omen, a distinguishing mark. So when you go to Isaiah 40 and 31, let's see here. See? Let's go to 30. Even the youths shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Brothers having visions of levitating off the ground, flying, having fire come out of their eyes, like Superman, Kalal. And what they say in the movie, Kalel, but it's Kal Allah, all power. See, Israelites renew their strength, running like flash. So they have the records of Israelite mighty men doing these things. Let's look up strength. Shall renew their strength. Looks like Kawak. Yeah, Kawak. Kawak. Wow. Ability, force, might, powerful. These are mighty men. Look at this. The strength of angels. See? So he that is feeble among them shall be as David, as the angel of the Lord before them. Strength. The strength of angels. Power. True power. See, that's coming. This is not a game. And this is why they've already, through DARPA, funded a super soldier program. Many of these men are ex-special operations, ex-Delta Force, ex-Green Beret, and ex-Navy SEALs that have been digitally augmented, upgraded to be super soldiers. They're ready to go. But the Bible says, and thy mighty men, O Teman, shall be dismayed. So the Lord's strength is true power that is not of this world. They're trying to hit the chariots of the Lord, and the chariot just dissolved. That it was I think it was a Tomahawk. No, it was a Hellfire missile, not a Tomahawk cruise missile. There's a video circulating of a U.S. Hellfire missile shooting at a chariot of the Lord, so-called UFO. And the Hellfire missile just split in like 3 pieces. And all of the experts are confounded that they don't know of anything that could have caused a Hellfire missile to fragment like that. They are baffled. So when they come against the Lord's men, the Lord is going to lift up a standard of power and fire. Isaiah 40 and 31. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary, and they shall walk and not faint. Mighty men, being able to run at super speeds, being able to levitate, fly. King David jumped over walls, bit still with his hands. That man of steel comes from the Bible, King David. So this is all hogwash and ignoring the seeds of hate being sown here. Let's ignore all that and let's just address the symptoms. I don't want to get treated for my cold symptoms. I want to get to the root of the problem. How do I get rid of this thing here, this sickness, instead of addressing the symptoms? Or a Band-Aid approach to a sucking chest wound. Look that up. You can't put a Band-Aid on a sucking chest wound. You got hit by a bullet in the chest, punctured your lung, and somebody's trying to put a Band-Aid on it. This is absolutely ridiculous.
How do black people...
Who's at the helm? Who's in rulership? Who's in charge? Who set up this system here? Let's address that and work our way forward. Let's get this one. A physician is coming. That physician is our comforter, our healer, Yahushua. That disease are the Edomites. Let's go here. Sirach 10, verse, let's go 9. Why is, we got to go up. Sirach 10, verse 6. Bear not hatred to thy neighbor for every wrong, and do nothing at all by injurious practices, creating imbalance through robbery and mischief. Pride is hateful before God and man, and by both doth one commit iniquity. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. So this starts with Edom. Trying to remember where this is at here. Let's go to, well, there's plenty out here. Like the proud have hid a snare for me. Let's get this one right here. Psalm 69, verse 3. I am weary of my crying, my throat is dried, mine eyes fail while I wait for my God. They that hate me without a cause are more than the hairs of mine head. They that would destroy me, being mine enemies wrongfully, are mighty. Then I restored that which I took not away. So the Lord is going to stand up for his anointed ones. Let's get this one. See, right here. That's the one I was thinking about. Psalms 140, verse 4. Keep me, O Lord, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent men who have purposed to overthrow my goings. See? It's not the house of David being rebuilt. What goings? It's not the tabernacle of David being built. Yes. Psalms 140, verse 4. Keep me, O Lord, from the hands of the wicked. Preserve me from the violent man who have purposed to overthrow my goings. The proud have hid a snare for me and cords. They have spread a net by the wayside. They have set gins for me. See? Wow. Verse 7. So the proud is doing that now. They're using pseudoscience. They're using a media propaganda machine. They're using misinformation, deception. Verse 7. O God, the Lord, the strength of my salvation. Thou hast covered my head in the day of battle. So the Lord is going to strengthen his people, his men. The proud have hid a snare for me. The Edomites. I want to know what that word strengthen is in the Hebrew. Sirach 10 and 7. Pride is hateful before God and man, and by both does one commit iniquity. See? Let's jump down to the key point. So the pride of this man's heart has deceived him. He thinks through his pseudoscience, technology, and major technological advances built off the ingenuity of the Israelites is made him great because he thinks he's great, because he's ruled over the people that created all of this science and technology for him, that helped make Egypt great, and that made spiritual Sodom and Egypt great. Give us all your worthless Israelite slaves. and bring them to America. We'll take them. But they knew the whole time who we are. Let's get back to that. So the physician is Yahushua, and the disease are the Edomites, the wicked. Sirach 10 and 6. It's about time to shut this down. I'm just getting Sirach 10 and 10. The physician cutteth off a long disease, and he that is today a king tomorrow shall die. See? So their kingdom is going to go into a state of decay, and that's happening right now. But it's only going to get worse. For when a man is dead, he shall inherit creeping things, beasts, and worms, going back to their kingdom in a state of decay. See? So the Lord is bringing this system down, just like he did ancient Rome, just like he did ancient Egypt. So this construct, this beast system, is a conglomeration of the kingdoms of the ages. And it's all going to go down in one day, 1 hour. Is all it's going to take for Yahushua to knock this giant down. And before I forget, curious what this Hebrew word is here for strengthen. Let's read Psalms 140. Where did I read that at? Here's my strength. Psalms 140 and 7. O God, the Lord, the strength of my salvation. Thou hast covered my head in the day of battle. Hey, that reminds me of our Ephesians 6. The helmet of salvation. This is beautiful. Let's look up strength in the Hebrew. Force. Eyes. Force. Power. Strength. Strong. Majesty. Security. Might. That's the same word in Psalms 86. Psalms 86. Same word that we read here. Psalms 86 and 16. O turn unto me and have mercy upon me. Give thy strength unto thy servant and save the son of thine handmaid. See? Strength. Eyes. Right there. Boldness, majesty, power, might, loud. Wow, this is interesting. Personal, social, or political. Hey, the elect men are the new up-and-coming governors, kings, and priests. Hopefully this lesson has been edifying. See you on the next lesson, Lord willing. Kwam Yasharala and Bad Babal. We got next, Lord willing. Barak and Thumb. Shalom. Shalom. Shalom.